And I am the Director of Citizen Services. It's going to be a lovely day. Got a little bit of good weather's coming in here. And so I'm excited about our speaker here today as more and more people come in. Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. You know, it's always good when you can get a little bit of, good weather then. When the day the ladder hit seemed impossible. See people coming in. It's good seeing everybody. Happy April. Some people will call it April Fool's Day. I think, when you see the snow out there, I think we all want to have a do-over, right? Happy April 1st. And welcome. We're letting people in as we talk. So it's good to see everybody. Listen, thank you very much. We always play a little tune. It is Friday, April 1st. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Oswaldo Mestre. I'm the Director of Citizen Services, and just want to thank you for attending our block chat. We've been doing this for more than a year and a half. We started when we were in the pandemic. It's good to look back at that all the way at the past, and as we start to look at our future, as we creep out of that and practice safe habits and do the things that we need to do to energize our communities and our cities. We wanted to provide this forum to individuals as we wanted to provide this forum to individuals so that we can give information to block clubs and community-based agencies and alike. And so again, thank you. This week, interesting week in terms of work that has been done at City Hall. I want to remind folks, if you can mute, or I'm going to have my staff mute you as they are looking to do that right now. Want to be respectful of our speakers moving forward. And again, I'm going to remind my staff if they can mute. Okay, as we move forward, I'm going to let's talk a little bit about what's been going on here in City Hall. Busy week. I want to take this opportunity as we move into a new administration. We have folks who have served in various levels. Our parking commissioner, who we once had here speak, today is his last day, Kevin Alfer. And then I want to say also a big shout out to Shatora Donovan, who is the city's chief diversity officer, in the role that she's played. And as you have seen in today's newspaper, Deputy Mayor Ball, again, is moving on. Each one of these individuals have served with distinction, and want to say thank you for their service and the work that they have been able to do to move this city in a way that is promising, but also what we're going to be doing in the future. As you know, Police Commissioner Gramalia has been hitting the ground running, and with his emphasis on community policing and serving. And so we're excited about that. I do want to be mindful and, and share, let's keep those officers and those individuals who have witnessed that in prayer. Shout out to our Buffalo Police Department and those. It's not an easy and safe job, but they're committed to making sure that individuals like me and you are in a safe spot. And I want to say thank you. I know we see Captain Tommy Champion on. He's the head of the NET team and all things community policing. So again, just thank you for your service. A couple of things I want to make sure that I want to let you know that visit the City of Buffalo's webpage. There's always information on there. We try to provide you with information along the way, but there's always information that's happening within the city and we'll talk to you a little bit about that. Nicole, I'm going to pass it off to you. I know you have a couple of announcements, and then we're going to bring our speaker. I'm excited about this speaker, somebody that I have known as a colleague and as a friend that we've worked side by side. He is very deliberate and knows about the work that he is doing, but not only here in Buffalo, but he's become a national model, to be quite honest. And we'll talk about that, in the near future. So I'm just excited about our speaker. Nicole?
Welcome, everybody. We have a few less announcements today, so it should go pretty quickly. Okay, so as always, our announcements from the Division of Citizen Services. If you're still struggling with eviction prevention or know somebody who is, Stand Up Buffalo is still in effect. So for this, again, there are some qualifications to meet, and you can call 211 to learn more and apply today, or visit standupbuffalo.com. Tenants and landlords, you can sign up today for the City of Buffalo's free apartment building recycling program. And this information can be found at buffalorecycles.gov/apartments, or alternatively, you can call the number listed on screen to find out more. There are waste drop-off locations listed online on the recycling page as well, in different locations for electronic waste, refuse disposal, and yard waste as well. And so no other material other than what is listed is accepted at each location. The bulk trash schedule is out. This is the 2022 spring collection schedule. And as you can see, each district is located along with the start date for that district. The first one will be Ellicott in April 10th. And so we just encourage residents to make sure that they're putting out their trash on that Sunday of their week that it begins. Earth Month is in effect this month, and some events are ongoing. As you can see on this page, there are a list of events starting this month, April, going all the way through to May. And then, of course, April 22nd is Earth Day, and there are some initiatives to honor the Earth on that day. So there's also the Buffalo Public Schools Environmental Champions Program, listed on this with the deadline to register Friday, April 22nd. And this flyer will be located on the city webpage and our webpage at the Division of Citizen Services as well. And for more information, you can visit buffalorecycles.org. There is an Envision strategic meeting next week, Wednesday, April 6th from 6:30 to 7, the Pratt Willard Community Center. So this is just for residents to basically talk about what neighborhood improvements they would like to see. And we want to hear from you. So you can contact your neighborhood planner, Heike, at the email listed, or call the number listed on the screen, or you can scan the QR code online to take the online survey. We present the crime prevention through environmental design. SEPTED classes will be starting. So there are 2 dates to date, April and May, from 6 to 8:30 at different locations. To register, you can contact Ron Dixon, Special Project Manager for Crime Prevention for the City of Buffalo. And the workshop is open to various block clubs, business owners, etc. And to find out more about this, again, you can contact the Special Project Manager for Crime Prevention. The Great American Cleanup is underway. You can schedule your own event between March 21st and June 22nd, request free cleanup supplies, and arrange for a free trash pickup by calling 311, or you can volunteer at a cleanup event. In order to register or participate, you can call 311 or visit the link listed on screen, scan the QR code, or email rdixon@buffalony.gov. The child autism signs have been added to the list of roadway caution signs. If you are in need of one, or somebody in your neighborhood is in need of one, please be sure they meet the eligibility requirements, and you can apply by calling 311 or visiting the city website. The Summer Youth Internship and Employment Program is open for city youth between ages 14 and 21. You can sign up on the city website. Completed applications are due by Friday, April 15th. And you can also find out more information online if there are any questions as well. If you would like to volunteer to join the Good Neighbors Network, we are looking for you. For more information on this initiative, you can contact the Save Our Streets coordinator, Michael Smith, at mtasmith@buffalony.gov or call 311 as well. If you're having trouble coping or know somebody who is having trouble coping and is having some behavioral health, crises, the BPD Behavioral Health Team is working in collaboration with Endeavor Health Services to provide on-site screening, assessment, de-escalation, and diversion for people in need of mental health or substance use treatment services. So for more information on this, you can call the number listed here or visit the city website, sorry. Stop, drop, and roll. So these Saturdays between 10 and 2, April 2nd, April 9th, and April 23rd, you can visit any conveniently located in-person Buffalo firefighter exam registration booths. You can drop off your firefighter exam application and prepare for the June 4th Buffalo firefighter exam. The exam is June 4th, and you have to apply by April 29th. And you can apply online at buffalony.gov/firefighter. Or visit City Hall and get an application. The BSC of Buffalo Lifeguard is still signing up for the next round of lifeguard certification and training classes. You can do this on buffalopal.com. There is one Saturday left, Saturday, April 2nd, and there are a few eligibility requirements that you do have to meet in order to do this. And then the next dates and times of the next sessions that may be offered will be announced. The Easter season is underway at the historic Broadway Market. Shop the market for Easter and continue the tradition. The Easter Bunny will be at the market April 2nd through April 16th. And you can check the market's website for hours and list of entertainment. If you are looking to start a block club, you can contact the City of Buffalo and Erie County Board of Block Clubs. They have an email, a phone, and an Instagram and Facebook. They are responsive on all platforms, and you are able to contact them for information about block club building as well as initiatives regarding block clubs. Again, residents can still sign up for public service alerts by texting Join Buffalo to 38276. And still to receive parking updates, you can just text Join Parking Updates to the same number as well. So there is still the repair program sponsored by Habitat for Humanity. They offer low-cost home repairs, basically repay an affordable loan. There are some requirements to be met, and for more information on this, you can scan the QR code and apply, or visit habitatbuffalo.org/home repair. There is still time to do taxes, and there's free tax preparation and assistance. You can call 211 for an appointment. This free tax prep happens at Northwest Buffalo Community Center. The volunteers are trained, certified, and ready to help. You can visit freetaxbuffalo.com for more information and to schedule an appointment. So there is a free Zoom for Ready Set Parent. You can register today. This is for expecting parents who may have questions about parenthood or anything that will be coming up. You can scan the QR code to learn more. Call or text the number listed on screen, or email derwin@epicforchildren.org. Summer of camps from the Community Music School is going to be underway soon. There are various camps for children of different ages. For information and pricing, you can call the number listed, or you can visit communitymusicbuffalo.org to find out more. Foundation for a Drug-Free World is presenting a last webinar, Vaping, Marijuana, and Fentanyl, and What You Must Know. This is Tuesday, April 5th at 7:30. You can confirm your spot by emailing drugfreeworldny@gmail.com and requesting the link, or you can call the number on screen for more information. Northland is having their Summer Youth Academy in partnership with Mayor Brown's Summer Youth Program. It's a fully paid 6-week immersion experience into high-tech careers in advanced manufacturing and energy. It runs from July to August, 9 to 1 at Northland, and is paid training. And for more information on this, you can visit northlandwtc.org and apply, as well as Northland Workforce Training, of course, has hands-on training opportunities and provides various services. And you can find more information about that at the same website, northlandwtc.org, or call the number listed on screen. There are spring service days offered by the Tool Library, various days between April and May, and you are able to nominate a project if you have an idea for a project in your community but need extra hands and tools. Once you nominate the project, the Tool Library will work with you on it. So you can do this by scanning that QR code or visiting the toollibrary.org for more information. First Front Door is a program that's being offered by Northwest Bank, and they're offering a first-time home buyer grant program. So there are qualifications to be met, of course, and you can get $5,000 in cash for down payment and closing costs. And you can call to find out more about applying for grant funding, or calling the number on screen, or visit northwest.com. There's one last date for scholarship workshops and more, April 2nd at South Park High School. This is for all ages, high school students and parents. So free resources to help them get ready for success, highlights, essay writing, dressing for success, resume writing, etc. And this is presented by Hispanic Heritage Council. As always, there is still COVID-19 testing available, and information for COVID-19 vaccines. For more information, you can visit COVID-19 at buffalony.gov to find out more and to find out the locations to where you can go. And if you are still finding that you may need some support, emotional or otherwise coping skills, etc., you can contact the emotional support helpline or email projecthope@buffalourbanleague.org. It is free, anonymous, and confidential. As always, please follow us on social media. We will be releasing a lot of information, programs, and flyers. So we do have a Facebook where we're at Buffalo Citizen Services, an Instagram, Buffalo 311, and a 311 call and response center page, which is again at Buffalo 311. If you don't follow the mayor, please follow him at Mayor Byron Brown on Facebook and Mayor Byron Brown 716 on Instagram. And Oz, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Nicole. A lot of great information that we are presenting. As we move from one season to another, or we already in that season in terms of springtime, I just want to remind folks that a lot of great organizations are doing their part in terms of making sure Buffalo's clean. Shout out to the Board of Block Clubs working with us and doing the Great American Cleanup. We have Trash Mob. It's just that time, and we thank you. The city is providing bags, as Nicole talked about that, and also free pickup and whatever technical assistance that we can help. There is going to be a link that's in there that we want to make sure that we're putting into the chat group, and so we want to provide that information out to everyone. And also, there are a lot of different organizations that are out there. I see Paul Perez, who represents Home Headquarters, and they do things with housing as well. This is that form that we want to provide information out to people and make sure that they are connected in that respect too. And so if you have any information, let us know ahead of time so we can provide that information. Let me introduce a colleague that I've worked with, somebody that is very purposeful, meaningful about the work that they do, but how it affects the city of Buffalo. More specifically, also the issue of equity comes into play when we're talking about delivering services. We talk about city of Buffalo and its infrastructure. And a lot of people want to say that's all about buildings, right? Infrastructure is things that we see or we don't see. Some things that we use, right? And we take sometimes for granted. Our proximity to the Great Lakes and this thing, that water that we cannot survive without it, but sometimes we take it for granted. And I'm grateful that the city of Buffalo has somebody at the helm that looks at this from an equity lens, that looks at this and wants to make sure that we are adhering to the right principles here. And it's that thing, but then it's also taking it to another level so that everyone understands that when we're talking about the issue of water, in that respect. So let me not do any more and bring my good friend, OJ McFoy. As you know, in the city of Buffalo, there are 3 different department heads and commissioners that all have O. He's part of the O team. I appreciate them. The executive director, McFoy.
Thank you very much, Oz. I appreciate all the kind words. I definitely want to thank you and as well as your citizen services team for allowing me this opportunity to present today to the Board of Block Clubs and everyone else that's on this virtual meeting. My name is Oluwole O.J. McFoy. I serve as the chairman of the Board of Buffalo Water, as well as the general manager for the Sewer Authority. So this afternoon, I want to take a little bit of your time and just speak on the programs that we offer aimed at keeping water bills affordable for you and your families and your constituents and their families. We have a number of programs that have been around for decades, from our senior program to our leak abatement programs. But in 2019, we really took a concerted effort, really focusing in through an equity lens. And we introduced a larger suite of programs, really directed at ensuring that our low-income customers were supported. And we called it our residential affordable water programs. And really what it manifested in was either a 20 or a 60% discount off of your water bill. And to date, we have over 1,500 customers receiving reduced bills through that program. And frankly, that's not enough. We have 68,000 residential customers. And in a city that has 30+% poverty, we know that we have more individuals, more customers, more families throughout our city that are eligible for the programs that we have. We also have had over 1,400 customers that have been able to take advantage of our flexible payment plans. And we have over 4,000 customers who are over the age of 65 that are currently receiving our senior discount rate program. So what I want to just drop in the chat real quick is just a link that talks about our Get Water Wise program, and that was introduced in 2019 again. And it really is a simplified application process. We work with Code for America in kind of setting that up, and we wanted to make sure that it was very easy for our customers and get involved. But frankly, as we partnered with our organizations locally to set up these programs, we knew that it was going to be a challenge to make sure that we got them out. So we partnered with the likes of Catholic Charities, Community Foundation, Groundwork Buffalo Push, and we knew that it was going to be a challenge, and still we find it as a challenge. And we want to make sure that everybody is receiving the programs that are eligible. So with that, I'm just going to quickly share a couple of slides that digs in not only to our affordable water programs and our Let's Get Water Wise programming language, but also gets into some of the programs that we have put in place since the start of this pandemic, and some of the programs that we are really looking forward to that have just recently been put in place. So give me one moment to share my screen. Just want to make sure we got that. All right. So with that, we talked about our, We All Deserve Affordable Water program, and this is really our Get Water Wise program, and it really focuses in on the programs that we set for affordable water. And I'll state this, we really took a lot of effort. We actually partnered with a national organization called the U.S. Water Alliance, and they brought to bear information from a number of cities across the country, from Atlanta and Camden and Cleveland and Louisville and ourselves and Milwaukee. And we all came together really to come up with what was working in their various cities and what we could bring back home. And our programs really focused in on how we could provide a discount to our customers, and that would hit the most of our customers. And the program is set up very similar to other programs. We have automatic enrollment for if you are a HEAP recipient, if you receive SSI, if you're on public assistance, if you receive SNAP, automatic enrollment. And then we also have household income eligibility, very similar to other programs. But it takes with low income folks, it is a 20% discount off your water bill. And with very low income folks, it is a 60% discount off of your water bill. And we know, and you know, we've sent it out in billings. We've done door hangers. We've gone door to door. We've talked at block club meetings to kind of promote this program. But we know that there are still folks out there that aren't able to take advantage of the programs. So we want to make sure that that word is continuously getting out there. That program still exists, and it is still being used, and we've had to add others. So we know when COVID hit in July of 2020, during the height of the pandemic, our mayor also announced our water amnesty program, which allowed a significant reduction in past due bills. It really allowed our customers that were hardest hit some support while they struggled to make ends meet. So with that program, we have over 2,000 customers that have signed up for this program. And that program removes penalties, interest, and fees. And so that was one of the issues that we really focused in on, standing up in the midst of the pandemic, along with our residential affordable water program. We needed to make sure that we stood up some other programs that were really going to help folks really pay their water bills and afford them. But then in came the advocacy work that we have been working on the federal level. For over a decade, we have been really pushing for a similar program to HEAP in the water sector. And what we were able to get was funding, as well as the establishment of a program and $1.1 billion dedicated to it for the low-income household water assistance program. So with that, I will just drop just a quick piece in the chat as well. And what this focuses in on is how New York State can have an impact on this. This $1.1 billion was really spread throughout all of the states. And New York received $70 million dedicated to addressing outstanding water and sewer bills. Now, the way it works is the New York State Office of Temporary Disability Assistance, is the one who will be administering this program. It is not us. We would have preferred if it was us. We would feel as if we had better control. But frankly, we want to make sure that as much money goes to Buffalo residents and not necessarily to New York City and downstate. We want it to come here because we know that our residents, our customers need that. So we want to make sure that we're working with trusted partners like you to make sure that we get the word out for this assistance program. So, as with any assistance program, there is a paper form, but the easiest way to go about getting it is by working with New York State through their online portal. And of course, it does require you to set up a username and password and prove that you're not a robot and all of those things. But I just want to speak to this number. Here's the number that this program is up to. You can get payment for arrears on your water bill of up to $2,500 and in sewer for up to $2,500. And unfortunately, we know that we do have customers and residents that have bills that are that high. These bills can be zeroed out. They can be eradicated by really applying, qualifying for this program. Now, this program, as similar to our programs, does have income guidelines, and it does have a number of other guidelines, but they are not any different than the majority of the programs that have been out there. So you heard Nicole speak earlier about the rental assistance, the emergency household assistance programs that have been out. They are very similar in the features that they have, but this one is directed strictly to water and sewer, and it can bring up to $5,000 to a residential customer. And this is why we want to make sure that we promote that. Because we don't have control of that, the process is every customer must apply through the portal or through paper through the Office of Temporary Disability Assistance. And then the funds, we are notified to then remove the funds from their arrearages and to zero out their balances. But it's not us having that ability to work directly with the customer. So for us, it is really imperative that we work with everybody to get that word out of the availability of these funds that are out there. So we really want to work with the likes of you guys as trusted partners and others. So we are actually getting our act in order to put out a directed marketing plan. I know New York State office is actually going to be putting out some marketing, but we want to make sure that those funds are coming to Buffalo. You know, we don't want to see the majority of that $70 million heading downstate. We know that we have enough need here in the city of Buffalo. And with that, I wanted to really get into the question and answering because I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions. But I wanted to thank you. Just a short number of slides about the latest that we have going on and why it's imperative to really focus in on getting that word out, because the opportunity for the funds, there is generational investment funds that have all kind of focused in through an equity lens. We want to make sure not only that we can get people's balances and arrearages cleared, but that we can also make sure that we keep everybody in good standing going forward. So with that, if any of you have questions on our residential affordable water programs, our customer service at buffalowater.org is the email. We can also be reached by phone at 847-1065, or you can go into our office over on Exchange Street to really speak to our customer service reps to get involved, not only from our residential affordable water programs, but also we can help and help you make it through the process of applying to the Office of Temporary Disability Assistance, LIWAP, so the Low Income Household Water Assistance Programs. And with that, I'll open it up to questions and clear my screen.
Hey, OJ, thank you very much. A lot of great information. For some people were just writing some things down or talking about this particular topic. You and I have talked the importance of when we talk about infrastructure and looking at things from an equity lens. Maybe talk a little bit more about that and why that's important to Buffalo and how that affixes itself to a lot of the other things that the mayor is doing, other city departments are doing, how we move in tandem, how one thing affects the other, and why that's important.
Oz, I thank you very much for the runway on that one. Today I really wanted to focus in on the affordability of water, but affordability is interconnected with our infrastructure. You'll hear people say, we got to keep rates down. Here's the secret with that. If you keep rates down as prices and everything else are going up, the cities that have done that are the cities that you read about. Those are unfortunately, the Flints of the world, because what they didn't do is maintain their infrastructure. They were focused on the finances and not on the public health of the people. So it is mandatory that your rates are reflective of the needs of your community. And we have over 850 miles of sewer, over 800 miles of water line buried beneath our streets. So when people talk about infrastructure, they hear roads and bridges. Listen, you want to see a road blow up, have a water line, have a water leak, and you will see that road quickly disappear. So we have to remember that as part of infrastructure, we are really talking about that underground infrastructure. Now, what we say on our conversations nationally is, yes, we have to maintain and build out and repair and replace and renew our water infrastructure every year. And yes, we have to keep it affordable for our low-income customers. So that has been our goals here. So we've set up many of these programs to make sure that we're not pricing out our low-income folks from being able to afford the necessary services. Because we know, just like you guys know, because you are so close to the community members and a part of it, listen, we have learned experiences. I come from Langfield. I grew up in Kim Bailey. Like, we understand unfortunately, the segregation of our city. We understand the difficulties of our family members, and we understand that we have to make sure that we have programs in place that can support those. Now, at the same time, we also have to renew this infrastructure. So when we talk about affordability, those things go hand in hand. So we want to make sure that we have the program set aside for our low-income folks so that they can afford the true cost of maintaining a system as large and as diverse as ourselves. And we need to make sure that we're doing the work. So what you'll be seeing, and the mayor has made an awesome commitment to this. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about our lead service lines that we'll be replacing and the $10 million as part of the American Rescue Plan that has been dedicated to doing that. But what we haven't talked about a lot is the smart water and sewer dedication of dollars, $40 million as part of the American Rescue Plan that the mayor put out is going towards water and sewer renewals. So we want to make sure that we're getting that right. In addition, we're also putting $13 million into programs that are going to affect affordability of water services across our city.
That's good. You know, you talked about that. I remember the city of Buffalo, this environmental bond. Is that alluding to that as well?
That everything goes hand in hand with that one. So our environmental impact bond, is the largest in the country. Nearly $50 million.
You said largest in the country?
Largest in the country. It was a $50 million environmental impact bond, and what that is that's really focused in through an equity lens. It focuses in on bringing green infrastructure and furthering our green infrastructure investment throughout our city. And the reason we're using green infrastructure to tackle our stormwater challenge is that's a low lift. That's a low barrier to entry field. You know, a lot of times they'll say, oh, well, unfortunately, you don't have the skill set to do this type of work. You don't have the heavy machinery work to do this type of work. But this is a low barrier to entry field. And if we're going to be spending this money, we talk about it at our meetings, Oz, as you know. If the money is going to be spent from this community, we want it recirculated in this community. So when we talk about the work that's going to be done, we don't need it going to contractors that's taking it to West Valley and they're spending their money out in West Valley. We need it going to contractors that are going to recirculate higher first source from here in the city of Buffalo and then recirculate the monies being spent at institutions here in the city of Buffalo. So the environmental impact bond that we've rolled out focuses in on a number of opportunity areas throughout our city. It focuses in on installing green infrastructure, over 200 acres of green infrastructure over the next 7 years. We already have over 1,100 acres already installed. We're going to do 200 more. In fact, we actually are going to be doing 400 more. But this environmental impact bond focuses in on our opportunity areas that take up major sections of our city, in our Scajaquada district, in our Broadway Fillmore district, and other pieces and places throughout our city.
Well, I know on William Street, everyone drives down on William Street, like from downtown, and they look like, wow, that's you, and we have block clubs involved too. I know when you go into communities, there are some areas where the sidewalk is a little different over here. Why is it cut this way or whatever? But it's taking the runoff that's happening too. So these are things that we can get and work with block clubs and community members involved. And I know you have, when you have want to do some type of redesigning and working with them too. And I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, as you just mentioned our award-winning William Street project, and we still know we have ongoing maintenance work is something that we have to do a better job at. But that project we've received numerous awards, and it started with the community. We went in, and this has been our philosophy from the get-go, is when we look to engage with the community, especially when we're talking about green infrastructure, which is visible, which is needs to be aesthetically pleasing. It's not the underground stuff that we traditionally do. We're going to put this pipe under here and nobody's going to see it. This needs to be something that the neighborhood is going to get behind. We need to go into the neighborhoods with blank sheets of paper and ask and say, hey, what do you want to see? Here's what we can deliver, and what do you want to see? And with our William project, I can honestly say we went in there with blank sheets of paper. We met at several community centers, Pratt and JFK. We work with the youth in that community. We work with the homeowners. We work with the rentals. We work with the pastors and the faith-based folks to develop what would be ideal in this community to address stormwater. And what we came out of it was not just reimagining William Street, but the best thing we got out of that was reimagining Jesse Clipper Park, which was something that we had seen, which was a little postage stamp that we were able to make 4 times the size, that we were able to dig into the archives to find the original plans drawn by the city's first Black architect and reimagine them and put back his vision for what that park was supposed to be before, of course, it was downsized. So what we've put there is just the foundational for what it can be going forward.
Good. No, thank you. There's a question here, but I think about that. And so not only where you're putting investments in, but you're also helping when the city is working on other projects. I think about what's happening on Niagara Street, with the bike lane, but you had some say into that because of how the landscape and how waters was going to be run there. Other places that we take for granted, when the city's doing a particular project, now we have that in mind, so as you're looking at that too, so that's an important thing. The quick question, it says these programs are mentioned as such great initiatives. When speaking of infrastructure and lead replacement line, I'm wondering if there are any programs in the interim to provide water filters to residents, particularly in homes that have lead hazards. And we work directly with families and to work directly with families that are diagnosed with elevated blood levels. And then there's another question.
Yep. And some of those actually go hand in hand. When we talk about the age of our system and we talk about the water lines throughout our system and we talk about our lead service lines. Over this past, since the start of the fiscal year, we've invested over $1.5 million in replacing lead service lines. We've made a concerted effort since 2016 in doing so. As part of that program, we offer up pitchers and filters and the like as part of that program. But what people don't necessarily see is the corrosion control aspects that we're doing at Colonel Ward Treatment Plant. So corrosion control is where we get the lead leaching from the water line into the water. And so our corrosion control basically it puts a coating on the inside of the pipe. And the reason why that is so important and that why we can never stop doing this, you'll hear cities, unfortunately, like Newark, where their corrosion control at one of their treatment facilities was not doing what it was supposed to do. And in fact, the system was broken and it was only one of the treatment facilities was putting that out. And they ended up with a serious problem throughout their city. The tricky part with lead is we're going to invest a significant amount of money to address lead service lines, but lead persists in everyone's homes. So prior to 1986, prior to 79, it was used, it was in place. It finds itself into lead soldering, it finds itself into brass faucets. It is pervasive. Not only, and this is something that we've worked with our Get the Lead Out folks and work with the Community Foundation, not just in paint, but really in our faucets, in the things that we are using. So we have to make sure that we're doing the corrosion control while at the same time replacing those lead service lines. So currently we have worked on a machine learning model that really gets into the prevalence of where we have lead service lines throughout our city. We believe we have about 32,000 lead service lines going into homes throughout our city, based off of the ones that we have replaced, and based off of the analysis we've thrown in there, age of home, all kind of different things throughout. But we are working on addressing that. Now, before we go, and right now we have set aside about $10 million to address lead lines as part of the American Rescue Plan. We actually have some requests for bond funds to make that larger, $21 million in bond funds from the state to keep making that more aggressive push into addressing not only the age of our water mains, but while we are addressing the age of our water mains, we are also taking care and addressing the lead service lines on those streets that we are addressing the lead lines, because that is the most efficient, that is the most effective way to do it. We've heard from numerous cities, when you go and do it, if you're going to do it, that is the way to do it, because that is the most cost effective. So we are doing that. One of the challenges we talk about in ensuring that, one of the challenges we talk about in ensuring that before we get more and more aggressive at that, is just going back to what we talked about earlier, which is we want to ensure that the money is being recirculated right here in the city of Buffalo. And right now, the contractors are taking those funds, and those contractors are coming out of have their employees out of West Valley, out of Holland, out of Akron. Those employees are not out of the city of Buffalo. So that is our challenge right now. We are working collectively to try and get over that hurdle so that we can push a more aggressive plan, because the funding that we have in place is going to quadruple the amount of lead service lines that we want to do on an annual basis.
Great, OJ. Thank you very much. So we talked about lead pipes, we talked about water, we talked about equity, we talked about even kids and those things and the investment that we make in there. I can't say enough to say thank you. I've learned a lot. Every time you talk about this, it's just good to know someone at the helm. Sometimes it's these complex issues, and without me, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say, you make this water infrastructure sounds real sexy. And I really appreciate what you do, because, we have you at that elm, and I think it's good that you're passionate about it, and that you have been honestly somebody that has held the line, not just for the city of Buffalo, but for this country. And I want to say thank you very much.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, one of the comments that I saw is, listen, we have 14213. We have some of the highest blood lead levels, in the country, in specific zip codes in the city of Buffalo here. So when we talk about where we're going to be putting in our investments, we are very keen on understanding those blood lead levels. We've been looking at them for a number of years, and we want to make sure, first and foremost, that water is not going to be a determinant factor in a child having blood lead poisoning. So I thank you very much for this opportunity, sir. I want to make sure that everybody knows about our affordable water programs. They are very important, especially the folks who are income challenged. But I also want you guys to know that while we have these low income programs set up, we are pushing forward with the renewal, with the redevelopment of our underground water systems, because it is necessary.
Good. I'm going to say this, and I know for some students and for community groups, I know we're still in the pandemic, but if you have an opportunity to get a chance, and there are tours, when those tours open up to the water treatment facility, and also even a little Colonel Ward, I think the plan that was laid out years ago for a city like us, it was really innovative, and it still is, in terms of where we're at too. So again, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Good. Hey, Debbie.
Hey, Oz, how you doing?
Good. I'm doing well, man. That's a lot of information.
I
That's some
know.
good stuff, right? So
It
I'm going
sure
to pass
is.
it off to Debbie. What you got going on in your world with the Border Block Clubs?
Our world is expanding. Right now we have our meeting set up for April 28th at Gloria J. Park, 6:30. It will be a crime prevention through environmental design meeting. Mr. Ron Dixon from your office will be the presenter. And so we're looking forward to that. We've had some interested block clubs that received their kits and are pretty excited about doing some cleanups. We as the Board of Block Clubs are going to get involved as much as we can with the cleanups. We've, sent the information out. Dr. Cortasia Solomon Carter has shared it on all of our social media. Hi, Ellen. I see you. Ellen and Cortasia are both on the Board of Block Clubs board. And really, to be honest with you, we have so much excitement going on. May is Board of Block Club month, so our May meeting is going to be really great. We're looking forward. We're going to have Commissioner Finn speaking, as well as another guest speaker, right, Oz?
Yes.
And which we're holding off on the announcement to make sure that our guest speaker can make it. But that will be held at Dash's Market. And so we're really excited. Our meetings are really picking up. We've had some wonderful attendance. So if you're looking for any information about the Board of Block Clubs, Cortasia put the information in the chat. And if you know of a block club that wants to get started and they want our help, please reach out to us. Our team goes out and speaks all the time. And other than that, everything is going up really good. Like I said, we have some excitement that's going to be happening. In May, we are working with the Albright Knox Art Gallery. We will be putting that up on the Facebook page as well. We are working with them for Block Club Month. And it's May, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, May 20 to the 22nd. It's at the Albright Knox at Northland. And, oh, I got it right, she said, look at that. And it's free, but we do ask if you could give a little minimum donation to the Albright Knox. That would be really great. But it's going to be a wonderful art exhibit. Block clubs are asked to come and just see all the wonderful art that they have. And it's a good way for us to be out in the community and celebrate the block clubs and just kind of get to know one another. So we will be there. Our team will be there. And just please watch for the flyer to come out. Cortasia did a really great job on working with the Albright Knox, and so we're really excited about that. So this is what it's all about: partnership, working with everybody, working with Division of Citizen Services. So a lot's going on. Look forward to June and July because we'll have some more exciting news coming out over the next 2 months. So that's it for us. It's 12:56. I'm really getting good with this time stuff, Oz.
I know. Listen, we're gonna give everybody back 4 minutes of their time. I want to say thank you very much. Listen, if you got some information, you want to make a presentation, and those people who've made presentation before, you want to come back on, let us know. We're gonna push this information out. It is that time of year where people are starting to get out, experience this great city, this great mosaic that we have, either by walking or really just by participating in it. Let us know so we can push information out. Put stuff in the chat group. We are going to start our clean sweep it's right around the corner. And so if you know of an area that you think is a great candidate for a clean sweep, let us know. We have our Save Our Streets coordinator, Michael Smith, that's on here. We have folks here, who has been clean sweep coordinators before, who have known the role as well too. It's just great to see us all part of this one family. And I just want to say thank you very much. We'll see you next Friday. And we have another exciting speaker lined up and more information to share. Take care, guys.
Bye, everybody. Have a nice weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Happy weekend. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone.
Happy New Month.
April Fool's Day.
I know.